This ruined my life. Getting my silver player button was one of the biggest achievements that I've ever had, but it was also one of the worst things that ever happened to me. I spent my entire life working towards getting it, and then when it finally happened, I realized that I was miserable. So in this video, I'm going to explain why I quit my old channel with 200,000 subscribers, and how ultimately making that decision made me go from making $2,000 a month doing something that I completely hated to making over $10,000 every single month doing something that I absolutely love. So we're going to play a game, and we're going to start this story at level 1. You see, I've been making YouTube videos since I was 12 years old, and for me, level 1 of this game was starting YouTube. But for you, level 1 could be anything. You see, as soon as you start working towards a goal, you have to start somewhere. But level 1 for you could be school, it could be college, it could be the job that you're in, maybe you've just met someone new, maybe you've just got a load of new friends. But when I started, I absolutely loved YouTube, and every single night when I would go to bed, I would sit and lie there and think to myself, when I am older, I am going to be a YouTuber. And I know that sounds cliche, but genuinely it's the truth. And that carried on all throughout my teenage years until I was 18, and then I finally decided to do something about that. I created my old YouTube channel, Ellie96Z, where I would play the game FIFA. But this time, things were going to be different because I had one goal in mind, and all I wanted to do was make it my full-time job. And at first, I'll be honest, the videos were absolutely terrible. I was nowhere near doing it as a full-time job. I would keep posting and posting and posting and nothing would happen, but eventually, I would say around 2 to 3 years after I started the channel, things started to happen. Suddenly, I started getting views. Suddenly, I got monetized and started making money through AdSense. And then before I knew it, I was making more money from YouTube than I was in the marketing job that I had at the time. So I did what any other 21-year-old would do in my situation. I decided, you know what? I quit. I'm going all in with YouTube. And at that point, I progressed from level 1 to level 2. I was now a full-time YouTuber, and when I first started, the first month I made some decent money. The next month, even better. Third month, oh, just so much better. I remember that brands started to reach out to me on my email address offering me work, and after a few years of doing this consistently, I got offered one of the best deals that I'd ever been offered with YouTube. $5,000 a month to stream exclusively on Facebook Gaming. I would get paid well above average to just sit there and stream myself playing FIFA all day. And you might be hearing that and thinking, oh my god, that's so good, I want to do that. And don't get me wrong, it was good, but there was a huge problem that I hadn't really taken into consideration. Without even realizing it, like when you are playing a game, I had developed a character. And the character that I had turned into was the jester. You know what a jester is, right? They're those weird people who used to stand in corners just dancing around, and their only aim was to just entertain the guests at some kind of huge banquet. Yeah, that's what I essentially turned into, the modern day equivalent of a jester. The jester doesn't exist for themselves, they exist for the entertainment of other people. All they need to do is just keep the audience happy, just dance on command, just do whatever it is that the audience wants them to do. And I think that all of us do the same thing. And the better you get at becoming that role, it's so much harder to stop. I was no longer myself. I was no longer Lewis. I had slowly manifested into my person being Ellie96Z. And whilst everything was going well, all of a sudden, everything around me stopped because life caught up to me. And I feel honestly uncomfortable talking about this, but you might be thinking, well, what happened? And my mum passed away. I was 25 years old. I got a phone call from my dad, and it changed everything. And it forced me, for the first time in years, to take a step back and really evaluate what I was doing with my life. My views dropped, subscribers stopped coming in, my motivation went off the rails, my mental health, Jesus, my mental health was in the bin at this point. And the character that I built just didn't matter to me anymore. And that's when I had this dawning realization where I realized that whilst I thought that I was constantly leveling up and getting better, what had actually happened was I was stuck at level 2. And to move on to that next level, whatever that level looked like, I had two options. I could either keep playing the character, doing something that I completely hated, had no passion for anymore, or I could quit and I could start over. And I chose option 2. And let me tell you, quitting that channel wasn't the hard part. The hard part was starting from complete scratch. Because for the first time in a long time, I had no clue what I was going to do. I had lost my true identity through making YouTube content. And for the longest time, I had thought to myself, you know what I really want to try and really give a good go? Dropshipping. And I started to document my journey with dropshipping on this channel. My thought process was I can start again, I can slowly build up momentum on this channel, I'll eventually get monetized, and I'll eventually make a load of money with dropshipping, I'll make a load of money with YouTube AdSense, and I will make so much money, and that will fix all of my problems. And guess what happened? I tried dropshipping for 12 months, and I made nothing. For a year, I tested products, I studied every single video, I bought courses, I honestly tried so hard to make dropshipping work. And at that point, I slowly started to progress to level 3. So whilst I was trying the dropshipping, around 6 months in, I actually found a mentorship program. Now what this mentorship program was a program where they would teach you how to make viral content for brands. And once you completed their course, they would then pair you with a brand to create content for them. So to me, this was perfect. I'm failing at dropshipping, there's obviously something going wrong. I'll go and learn how to make content for brands, I'll get paid for doing it, and eventually things will work with dropshipping. So I started creating videos for brands, and at first, let me tell you, nothing happened, but I kept trying and trying and trying, and eventually I got a video to go viral. And then after that, another one went viral. And then after that, another one went viral. And within 30 days of joining this mentorship, I had made so much more money than I ever did with dropshipping. And that's when something clicked. I always thought that making content was my passion. It was just something that I did because I enjoyed doing it. But what I hadn't realized is that making content wasn't just a passion, it was a skill set as well. And for years I had convinced myself that the only way to make money with making content was being this character, the jester character. I just have to entertain and everything will just work itself out. But that was a complete lie. And before, I made genuinely $2,000 to $3,000 every single month making my old YouTube channel videos. But now I make $10,000 a month doing the exact same thing in a slightly different way. Now, I run a YouTube agency where I help people start their own YouTube channels. Now, I offer consulting calls talking about YouTube. And now, I can work on different side hustles and make content about those side hustles on this channel. So now, I don't need to perform to anyone. If this video that you're watching right now gets 500 views, so be it. I have no care in the world about that. And now, for the first time in years, I am making content that I am genuinely happy to make. If you feel stuck at the moment, whether it be with content creation, whether it be with school, college, work, whatever it may be, I completely understand how you feel. If you have some kind of skill, some kind of knowledge, or some kind of experience, the chances are that someone somewhere can relate to your story. And you don't need millions of views, you don't need to be famous, you don't need loads of subscribers, you just need to show other people what you're actually passionate about. And if you learn to share it in the right way, you can get paid to be yourself. I've talked about this extensively in my email list, so if you do want to go and sign up to that, I'll leave a link in the top line of the description. But honestly, no worries if you don't want to do that. That isn't the main point of this video. If anything I've said has piqued your interest in this video, make sure to click right here to go and watch another one.